Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel, and in this short video we're going to discuss events that took place during the previous night of the local time. Both sides, either the Russians and the Ukrainians, made another missile drone attack exchange. The Russians attacked the oil refinery and fuel depot in the southwest of Kharkiv, and as a result of that attack, as you can see, there is a very big fire and explosion. That oil refinery and fuel depot the Ukrainians were using for supporting their forces. They're in Kupiansk front line and the forces that crossed the Russian border and attacked the Belgorod region. Another missile attack took place in Dnipro. This is the explosion, as you can see, and the Russians haven't provided any information about the loss among the Ukrainians, and we know that the Ukrainians are trying to hide any evidence, video or photo evidence of results of Russian attack, because the Ukrainians use the doctrine to say that as a result of any attack they managed to shut down and destroy almost 90% and 95% of Russian missiles. So I believe we won't be able to get any information about the real losses and casualties among the armed forces of Ukraine. From the other side, Ukraine made their own massive missile attack and drone attack. As you can see, there were explosions in Berdyansk, in Donetsk, there were explosions in Rostov area, there were explosions in Krasnodar. So if we will connect all those attacks with lines, we see that there is a small triangle at least. So probably the Ukrainians were using exactly the area in the vicinity of Dnipro as the main base to attack. So probably this is the reason why the Russians are targeting and trying to attack Dnipro, because probably Dnipro is the main center and the main location of Ukrainian long-range missiles launch systems. So probably this is the reason of so many attacks against this town. For example, today there was a very heavy shelling of Donetsk, and as a result of that attack, a lot of civilian buildings were destroyed. There were casualties among civilians, and the Russians claims that few children and like old men were killed as a result of that attack. Another explosions took place in Berdyansk. This is the video of the explosion. As you can see, it was a very heavy explosion. Berdyansk is the port city, one of the main logistics centers of the Russians, because they can use the ports for like ships and so on. And probably the Ukrainians were trying to get the ammo depots in this area and accumulation of Russian forces. Also, we know that the Russians use Berdyansk as the area where they can accumulate their forces, because the distance between the combat line in this area is very big. So, and of course, the Russians try to rely on their air defense, but sometimes the Ukrainians are able to penetrate the Russian air defense systems. Furthermore, this is like the example. This is the photo of that explosion. As you can see, the explosion was very heavy. Furthermore, the Russians reported that there was another attack in Krasnodar, and as you can see, Krasnodar is located very deep inside of the Russian territory, and the Russians are saying that probably it was a drone attack. As you can see, there is a fire, there is explosion on the video. Probably the Ukrainians were attacking also the ammo depots, fuel depots, and so on. Very interesting video are coming from the Rostov area. As a result of missile attack, the Russians managed to shut down that missile. Probably that was Storm Shadow missile that was shut down by the Russian air defense system. As you can see, the level of attacks, the level of missile attacks, the exchange has been increased, and now there is like some differences between the previous months and previous year. First of all, the main differs is that now the Ukrainians have possibility to use the Storm Shadow missiles, to use drones, and they're not trying to keep them or save them. They're trying to use them as much as possible, as many times as possible, trying to attack the Russians reserves, the Russians fuel depots, ammo depots. So probably, and most of the military experts from the Russian side confirms that probably the Ukrainians are going to launch their offensive operation very soon, and now they're trying to reduce the Russians' possibilities by those attacks. And that's it for this short video. Military Summary channel reminds to condemn any violence in the world. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel, put your likes, join my Patreon, and have a good day. Bye bye.